Well, hello, Mr. Dale again, and we are now in Module 5, and the objective of this video is to introduce the topic animals and animal homes. We will look at the vocabulary that is needed for Module 5, the grammar, and a look at some of the verbs. So in grammar, really our only objective is to understand how to use can and can't. Remembering that can in Spanish would be puedo. Yo puedo. Okay? And obviously can't is no puedo. So we have sentences like birds can fly, but we would say pigs can't fly. So that'll be our grammar for Module 5. Some important vocabulary. Well, you need to know how to use can and can't. You also need to memorize the geographic regions that are in the textbook. I've given a couple examples here, like jungle and desert. We also need to know the names of animals. So we'll need to know words like bear, lion, whale, and there's lots more in the textbook that you'll need to know for Module 5. Remember, we are now in Module 5. We'll also talk about animal homes, where they live. Okay? So you'll need to know words like barn, nest, forest, etc. We'll also need to know body parts of an animal. So we'll be talking about paws, feathers, the beak, etc. So that's really important that you come to class ready knowing these words. Let's look at example sentences that we will probably be using in class. For example, we'll talk about where animals live. So we'll say something like monkeys live in the jungle. Or we might be talking about penguins. Penguins live in the snow and ice. Again, it's really important that we know these words before we come to class so that we can use them in our conversation. Here's another example. Kangaroos can jump. Here we're practicing and we're going to use our can, and in this example, fish can't hop, we'll be using the can't as an example. Our last example is birds have feathers. And we'll talk about body parts of animals. Let's look at some important animal vocabulary right now. We'll be talking about the foot of an animal is called a paw. Birds have what we call feathers. Animals have a tail. A bird has a wing, and also their mouth is called the beak. So I'll write that there. This is a nest. An animal has what we call fur to keep them warm. And our last picture is a spider web. This is just a small example of the words that you will need to know before coming to class. Verbs that we need to know for Module 5 are climb, and in the past tense climbed, crawl. Crawl is get the yard, so a baby will crawl, some animals definitely crawl. Crawled in the past tense. Jump, jumped. Run is irregular, so the past of run is ran. Swim is also irregular, and the past tense for swim is swam. Walk, past tense is walked. And fly is also irregular. The past tense is flew. That's a quick look at the objectives of Module 5 and a quick look at what we will be covering.